February 11th. Today, while investigating a mass outbreak of the baby egg Pokémon Togepi, I made a monumental discovery. As I approached the site that the Diamond Clan member had mentioned, I heard a certain cry, louder than any I had heard before. I climbed over the ridge as fast as I could, unable to believe my own ears, but there it was, sitting in the middle of Cotton's Edge Prairie, a shiny Alpha Togepi. This is only the 6th shiny Alpha I've been able to document, but this is proof of so much more to come. Every shiny Alpha I've encountered so far had previously established themselves, already taken territory, and all had been fully evolved. I even speculated that there couldn't be an Alpha baby Pokémon at all, since they haven't displayed those same territorial behaviors. At least, they hadn't until now. Luckily, because it was so small, I was able to catch it with only a few relatively minor scrapes. It was particularly helpful that all the other Togepi in the outbreak ran away at my approach. I'm resting at the Diamond Clan's settlement as I write this, waiting for my injuries to heal. I cannot wait to return to Jubilife to report my findings to Professor Laventon. I'm sure he'll be even more excited than I am. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If I want this journal to be a full record of my research, I should start from the beginning. Three months ago, I arrived here in Hisui with a mission, to study Pokémon. I had heard tales from a young man named Alec of a strange phenomenon in the newly developing Hisui region. The appearance of Pokémon much larger, more aggressive, and more territorial than average, dubbed Alpha Pokémon by the local professor. Upon hearing these tales, I needed to learn more. After struggling with Pokémon research in Unova for years, this seemed like the fresh start I needed. So I packed my bags, sent a letter ahead to Professor Laventon, and moved in. Upon arriving in Hisui, I immediately joined the Survey Corps of the Galaxy Expedition team, and was absolutely ecstatic to see just how much work Professor Laventon and the rest of the Corps had done, thanks to the invention of a spherical containment device called a Pokéball. These Pokeballs were a recent invention, and are somehow able to harness a Pokemon's mysterious ability to shrink itself down, both capturing and taming the wild Pokemon. It seems, however, that the members of the local Diamond and Pearl clans have befriended their Pokemon naturally, and consider using Pokeballs to be a form of bullying into submission. I can't say I subscribe to this theory myself, as the Pokemon I've seen have been perfectly happy, and even liked being in a Pokeball. But I neglected to comment directly to the locals, as to not cause friction with the Galaxy team. With the aid of the Pokeballs, the Research Corps of the Galaxy Expedition team had developed an incredibly in-depth journal they called a Pokédex, featuring drawings and analysis of a breadth of species in the Hisui region. There were, unfortunately, very few research notes on Alpha Pokémon, though I did notice something quite interesting while flipping past the page on Ponyta, the Fire Horse Pokémon. Apparently, one of the residents of Jubilife Village had seen a peculiar ponytail frequenting the Horseshoe Plains. He wouldn't give any more details, but I decided to prove my worth to the Survey Corps by catching and documenting this strange ponytail. As I journeyed to the Obsidian Fieldlands, I recalled another story from that young man Alec of a very strange Zorua. Not only was the one he described different from those of the tales I'd heard growing up in Unova, he had also seemingly found one that was a peculiar blue color, rather than the apparent usual red. Lo and behold, when I arrived at the Horseshoe Plains, the exact same thing seemed to be affecting this ponytail. I swiftly captured it, brought it back to Jubilife, and rushed it to the medical corps, concerned for its health. But, astoundingly, it seemed in a perfectly nominal condition, other than the striking blue color. After some investigation and discussion with Professor Laventon, I determined this ponytail, and most likely the Zorua that Alec had encountered, to be shiny, a rare phenomena that changes the color of a Pokemon. Originally, I theorized that all shiny Pokemon turn blue, but it seems the colors change per species, as it wouldn't be too long until I found a golden Shinx, a green Zubat, a yellow Drifloon, and more. As intriguing as shiny Pokemon were, however, I couldn't help but wonder if there was something more rare, something even more elusive, until I found exactly what I was looking for. Hi! Just wanted to take 1 second to let you all know that I'm hosting my very own shiny hunting event called Shiny Alpha Week. For the 3rd week of February, starting on Valentine's Day, I will be streaming every day doing tons of hunting for shiny alphas, and I won't be alone. Everyone is encouraged to join and share their Shalfa finds on Blue Sky or Discord. The full details are in a Blue Sky thread in the description, along with a ton of information about every shiny alpha hunting method. You don't need to make an account to view it if you don't have one. I hope to see you all there! In the Coronet Highlands sits the Sacred Plaza, a junction right near the Celestica ruins. It is there where one can find an Alpha Luxray patrolling the area, chasing away anyone and anything that dares to disturb its territory. It is that Luxray that changed my life that fateful day, over 2 months ago. I was in a rush to get to the summit camp, as I needed to rest and heal my Pokémon. But as I scrambled past the plaza, I noticed an unfamiliar golden glow, the very first documented shiny alpha Pokémon. The sharp red eyes, its gaze piercing right through, the golden glow giving it a regal aura, only emphasized by the crown-like tufts of hair adorning its head. This was simultaneously the most excited and the most terrified I had ever been. After safely sneaking up behind and capturing it, I brought it back to Jubilife, but surprisingly, it seemed to have calmed down considerably. At this point, it has taken to me quite affectionately, which is wonderful for my research, if not slightly difficult to deal with due to its size. It was that encounter that inspired the beginning of my quest over the last 2 months. And now, having found this Togepi, I know that my goal is possible, to find every single shiny alpha Pokemon. That is why I have started this journey, and that is why I was guided here to Hisui. I will be the first to fully complete Professor Laventon's Pokedex, no matter what it takes, and hopefully my research can help inform people about Pokemon. I've experienced firsthand the most ferocious of these monsters, and I can say for certain that there's very little to fear, as long as one treats them with empathy and understanding. Very little might have been an understatement.